reviews for Dirty Work. It said Artie Lang has all the charm of a date rapist. And Norm said, "That's great news." Artie says, "Why?" He goes, "A date rapist has way more charm than a regular rapist."
I'll be right back.
Yep. Man, Norm Macdonald, he was a pisser. Oh man,
that's so sad.
There's been I know there's been a few in the last few weeks. I'm shocked that the Crow is more than Dave Weiss.
Me too.
Do we want to release the Crow video?
I already did.
You did. How's that doing?
Well, I sent you the comments yesterday. Remember I showed you the guy was like, "Oh, you see how Crow got all upset when someone went at him?" I sent you a screenshot yesterday. I said I love the comments.
Oh, you know what? I don't know if that registered in my brain.
Oh,
you
yeah.
had posted that. Okay. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I did see that. Yeah.
I don't know how to take down this glare. I don't know what's new with this webcam because it wasn't like this before. Like my face is white enough. I don't need this Casper the Friendly reflection happening. We can literally see through the back of my head. This is translucent level white. I'm sorry. I should have been on
and
earlier.
It really makes your mustache just pop.
Pop. Yeah. It's got like this
all I can see is that mustache.
All right. I can't do the show this insecure, Todd. We're gonna have to postpone. I can't be on YouTube like this. In all seriousness, I can't. This is fucking cuckoo.
Do you want to go?
The local police would start an investigation. Your
background. The light doesn't go dimmer.
I don't know how to make it dimmer.
Can you turn the light off again? That actually looked good.
Yeah, it looked fine to me. Yeah. Can you crack the door a little or no?
It's just Jesus fucking Christ. Look at this. Like my face is gone. I'm gone. It's like blotches and eyes. It's like rosacea and eyes coming at you. This isn't a good look.
Get your face. You got to get your face out of that camera, or you'll be banned from middle schools in no time.
but don't you admit when Shamus is a little bit back, he's you look fine
this
right
is
now.
fine. Yeah, I could see the red in your cheeks from the embarrassment.
This is this is as good as it's gonna get, I guess.
All right.
The show. Holy shit. I got a lot to say. So I thought it would be fun. Did you have a chance to look at the comments, by the way, Joe? Did you see these?
I saw some comments, yes.
Oh my God. We got 90 comments on the YouTube channel. Yeah. And 100% of them, 100% are from people that believe the earth is flat. Like
exactly
beyond the scope of reason. Like if you were like an alien and you landed on Earth, and the first thing you saw were the comments from this YouTube, you would go, "Who is Shamus Ignoramus, and how is he the only person that knows the Earth is round? How is this possible?"
Yeah, there's not one person in the comments that stumbled across our show. Everyone immediately from the flat Earth that was told to come here.
It's 100% fringe extremists and no one with a job. Literally not one. It's just people that you probably wouldn't be surprised when they show you the picture of the guy who did it.
Right.
And in the news today, fill in the blank, 13 people were killed after a masked gunman claiming to be blah, 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 did blah, blah, blah. And then they show you the picture of the people. That's who commented. We're recording, right? May as well just go right into it.
Yeah. But it's funny, the comments, how they're all like, I know you're going to get into the comments, but real quick, how they're like, "Yeah, Dave, you showed him. Dave's at his best," and stuff.
Right.
Dave eviscerated Shamus Ignoramus.
And real quick, me and Joe were just saying, we love Dave. Jetai, don't you love him too?
He is really charming.
Really animated.
He's charming like a date rapist.
I look at him as like an entertainer type person.
Well,
I love his passion.
Do you think he's entertaining, or do you think he really believes what he's saying?
Well, like we said, we think if we knew the answer and there was $20 million in an envelope, and if we asked him, he would know the right answer.
100%. 100%. If there was $200,000 on the line, what did you say? 2 million? If there was $100 on the line,
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Between friends, he knows deep down. He's a con artist. I mean, there's no way he seriously believes Sandy Hook didn't happen. 9/11 didn't happen. Elon Musk is a robot. The vaccine is a conspiracy. Joe Biden's a robot. The Democrats are lizards. The earth is flat. Anything I can think of, he is 100% all in on. Every conspiracy you've heard of, he has a YouTube about, and he can tell you all about it.
Well, we never brought it up. He had a podcast before that called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole. Every single podcast was something different. Sandy Hook, 9/11. It's Christ. Every single solitary conspiracy. If he was flat, yeah, right. If he was flat Earth only, and that was the only thing that he believed
That's
in,
what I'm saying.
He could maybe get you to be like, you know what? Because I mean, I told you, I'm starting to have thoughts about this. But once he throws all the other stuff in, because he even says, once someone tells you a lie, you can't believe anything they say. So I feel that way with him. Not that he's not that he's lying, but
but he's telling you a lot of truths.
Yeah,
that's a lot of truths that nobody else knows. That only Dave knows the real truth about.
Also,
all the way up.
This discredits anybody of expertise, and as you also pointed out, I mean, just on NASA alone, scientists, biologists, paleontologists, all the new scientists that happen every year that graduate, everybody's in on it. And what you end up happening is about half the world's population is in on a conspiracy against the other half with virtually nothing to gain by this thing being round or flat.
But he has so many followers that think the same thing. I don't get it.
Yeah, and it's just like the control thing makes no sense. Dinosaurs is fake to control us. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm getting. Like, what is? So he couldn't answer that question though directly. I said, literally, what is it? What is it? And he's like, who knows? It could be anything. They don't want us to know how many resources there are, and there's no space. It's just flat and it goes on and on and on forever. Well, who's ever been there? Nobody's ever been there. No one's ever gone to the edge. No one ever set their compass west and kept going to see what's there. No one ever. Well, you could go, but it's Antarctica. And in Antarctica, you can't ever.
And Shamus, when you asked if it was flat, that has to be the best question you could ask. He said, that's the stupidest question I've ever heard. Like, who wouldn't? Every person asked that. You have to ask that.
No, I asked, where's the edge?
Well, yeah, right. Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. Where's the edge?
No, he came on to say it's flat. He spent an hour and a half explaining why it's flat. I just asked where the edge is, and he's like,
that's what I meant.
What? Nobody's ever asked me such a stupid question. You are seriously the dumbest fuck I've ever encountered. Jesus fucking Christ, Shamus. No one had even thought to ask something so absurd. Where's the edge? Well, I mean, isn't it a disc? Yeah. And then he got upset. It's that it's a disc. So he's saying that it never ends. So there's never ending flat Earth that just goes on and on and on forever. But no one's ever been there because it's Antarctica all the way around. Right, Joe?
I guess.
Wasn't that what he said?
That's what he said.
That was the map. Remember, he showed us the map, and Antarctica was around.
Extraterrestrial and all that. That's
that we might be in the middle, and then there's a whole nother world around us.
I almost think, the flat Earth is less crazy than that map with Antarctica all around the outside. Where did that come from?
I want to point out too, because this is something that Crow also did. Is
of course.
Crap! I just totally forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, did I throw you off with 2 words, Joe?
No, it was going as I was saying it. No.
Joe smoked the good stuff before the show.
Shit, I did.
The glue. Joe's been smoking the Donnie burger.
What were you just talking about, Shamus?
Flat Earth. Welcome to the show, Joe. Ladies and gentlemen.
You asked me a question, and I was thinking about what I was going to say.
And I said, I would kiss you.
Yes.
But I would never go all the way with Joe Aguirre. He's a handsome man, though. No, these comments are to die for. One of the things that I wanted to get into before I go into the comments, this is because everything is, hindsight's 2020. You listen to the show and you're like, God, I missed an opportunity there. I never brought up the fact that, I was assistant controller of a aerospace company for years. We manufactured sheath that goes on satellites that prevent it from burning up, and private companies bought our shit.
Oh, you fell for that job? That was all just
yeah,
fake.
there were a lot of people in on it.
Yeah.
The entire customer list and backlog was in on it. Every single person was in on it to the point they were giving us money for shit they couldn't use. They were giving us hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars per order for shit that they can't use for a thing that's fake.
It's all part of the act, the worldwide act.
And that's just in the Northeast in America. Like that, so many people are falling for this, believing in space and selling space stuff to each other.
Shamus, I remember what I was going to say. Because Crow did it too. You guys might remember he said in 1882 the definition of the word theory was blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And one of Dave's big examples is 102-year-old Rose, who remembers when she was at school and they were teaching about flat Earth, and it's like
the World Fair and stuff. She remembers.
Yeah.
That.
Okay, so that was like a random thing from like 150, 200. Like, what's your point?
Well,
things update, things change. I mean, you can look back on, you can give me the definition of something from like the 1500s that might have taken on a new definition now. You got to take that into account now.
Yeah,
and they don't.
They love to nitpick one thing. Like, for instance, Buzz Aldrin would go around. Buzz Aldrin will go around saying that he was on the moon or something, and then he said something to a kid. So they're like, Buzz Aldrin said to a kid that he's never been on the moon, but everything else Buzz Aldrin has said in his life doesn't count. They find one
gun is uncovered. Yeah. Buzz Aldrin has revealed to a 6-year-old child during a book signing after a nap that in fact we've never been to the moon.
Another thing, Joe, about that lady Rose that he spoke to, the 102-year-old, I think, he always has to exaggerate, like, oh my God, she's sharp as a tack. She remembers all her school teachers.
She knew Aristotle. She's so old. She was friends with Aristotle, I think was the point. I've listened to the show a couple of times. It's one of our best, and it's also one of the scariest. First of all, these people that follow Dave Weiss, they are the ones on the outskirts of our society. They are the ones you see at the bus depot that you just don't make eye contact with. It's all those people in a group feeding off of each other, and we got such blowback. Well, I did. You guys are fine. You guys, I noticed you guys stayed very nice and buttoned up and quiet. I didn't hear any of you having my back while I was getting tore a new one by Dave Weiss about the flat Earth. None of you spoke up.
Do you remember when I yelled you should do your own research? I thought that was helpful.
Joe was doing a good job feeding me all of the facts. He was like, tell him about the flight from Johannesburg. Tell him all of these flights that literally took off today.
Yeah, it's funny, because as he was saying things, I would go and I would look them up. And one of the things he talked about was there not being those cross-Atlantic flights. So why do you fly through Amsterdam to go from Santiago, Chile to Johannesburg, South Africa? And there was a reason for it. And it had a lot to do with the fact that nobody flies there and it's not cost effective to fly direct. They do have direct flights, though, and I found one, and I sent the link to Shamus.
And the reason why
they do it if they have enough passengers.
It's not very popular because it's literally negative 32 degrees Celsius. Like you can freeze your sperm as you walk in that temperature. That's why nobody goes there.
I told Shamus before I like listening to the Flat Earth podcast. I think it's fun. And Shamus is like, what? Like, I can't stand this. This is the worst thing. This is what's wrong with society. I find it entertaining as hell.
I can't, because it really, it's not about the earth for me. It's not about that. It's a symptom of a much larger problem where we've got so many malleable, ready to accept as fact the most outrageous, salacious, extreme outcome possible so that they can be part of a fringe group. You've got this innate desire to belong to something that is the opposite of what you perceive to be as mainstream. So you need to be as opposite as mainstream as possible. And they receive validation and community instantly via the internet, instantly via social media. They find a guru in Dave Weiss, and now they pray to Dave, and anything that they thought they knew before, they can just dismiss because of Dave's salacious YouTube video. That's what's wrong with so many other things that are not flat earth related, without even going into detail. Everything that you've seen disintegrate. And here's the comment that he made during the show that stuck out in my mind the most. I asked him a question. I said, when did you discover the earth was flat? And he very matter of fact said to me, 2015. I was 2015. And I thought about that. And I hyper focused on 2015. That makes so much sense, because that is when truth disintegrated. That's when truth melted, and all of the institutions that we perceived as reliable and factual were called into question, and it became in vogue to turn your back on objective fact, things that we just took for granted, like the earth is flat, for example, or, the FBI is generally good and doesn't tell lies, and, you can usually trust your doctor, and like all of these things that we just took for granted. That's when it all kind of disintegrated, after we started getting these massive disinformation campaigns that happened during the election and our emails. And then it just kind of, on our Facebooks, and it just kind of cascaded across every facet of our society. And that's why this theory and so many other wacky theories we'll cover on this show thrive in this day and age. And this is harmless. I would love if every conspiracy theory was like, I think the earth is flat. I was like, oh, cool. That's fun. You're kind of a dum-dum. Let's have a debate. But it's not that. You know what I mean? That's the part that drives me wild. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm still stuck on, why do we care? I mean, I don't care. If someone said we just found it's flat, would you even care?
If I found out that the earth was flat, for real?
Yeah, if they did that thing and they said, we found out that it's flat, like, would you care? Some people say people go crazy.
Yeah, it would call a lot of things into question, because it's connected to so many other realities, like school, like everything that we've been taught. Why did it make it to the textbook? Why are there such thing as physicists saying that it's like, they're really, I'd be like, oh my God, I'm jumping out a window. Like, they're all out to get me. It's real. Like, right. I wouldn't want to live in a reality like that, where people are seriously lying to me about space. I don't want to live there. You're lying to me about space. I don't want to be on the Truman Show. Is that what this is? Did people see the Truman Show and go, well, that's what we're doing?
Well, that's exactly how the flat earthers live. They think it's flat, and so every single thing. I mean, I still crack up how he thinks the Wild West is fake. Why is that even? Why would you think that? I don't understand. He's like, that's fake.
I didn't get it. I didn't catch that. So Billy the Kid is also fake.
Yeah, exactly. Why? What a random thing to make fake.
What a fun period of our history to throw out. Like, that's so shitty. Why do you want that not to be real, though? It's so fun. And it's so long ago. Why does it matter to you? Why would you throw that in the trash? I guess. All right, fine.
I'll tell you why. You got to throw dinosaurs out. Dinosaurs are cool. What do kids play with? They play with dinosaurs and cowboys and Indians. And so you got to, you hate to do it, but if you're them, you got to sacrifice the Wild West if you want to get rid of the dinosaurs. It's a discredit bombing campaign, dude. Listen, here's, it's funny you mentioned it in 2015. I mean, I had a guy who used to be on my political podcast who, anytime we would talk about laws or constitutional matters, and I would bring up something from Harvard or Yale or somebody, he would immediately, like, those are like evil liberal institutions, and they're like, they have no, and I'm like, dude, get
all
real.
of them.
You're an
not just
idiot.
one of them, all of them.
Yeah.
Throw them all out. They're all liberal trash. They're all controlled by George Soros. They're all controlled by just buzzwords and names. All of them. Throw them, every one of them, every single source of truth, throw it in the trash in favor of what? Something with an eagle on it and a gun Tribune? Really? So do we just make shit up, or like we have to have a source of truth? There has to be some unifying, if everybody's saying like all these sources of truth that we take into into consideration of saying the same thing, it's got to be true. If I'm watching it on a live stream on the news, it's got to be true. If it's not true, I'm jumping out the window. It's not far. I mean, I'll go right here on the show. If you tell me that, if you prove to me all of that is fake, I'll just end it right here on the air, Joe. It'll be a good show.
You notice the things they say are fake
Joe,
aren't
cut that
like the things they say are
so freaked out. I don't want any of these things to be true.
But the things they say are fake are like the absolute most important things. Do you know what I mean? It's not like little things. It's like the biggest things in the world are fake. And that's the other thing I want. Yeah, I know. I want to mention that Crow mentioned how the Kennedy assassination was fake. He was like, if you slow it down, you can see a dummy in the car. That's also fake. I meant to bring that up with him. I forgot all about it.
Well, I mean, the real conspiracy there is so much more fun.
Yeah.
The conspiracy theory that was like Kevin Costner started, and that's a fun one, and it's a plausible one. There were a lot of people that wanted Kennedy dead, namely the mafia. And I think there were a lot of movies that covered why, and that's a really interesting story, the connection between the mob and Bobby Kennedy and the loans in Cuba and all that. So that's a great story. Why would you want to rewrite it with something as dumb as a dummy? Like the real truth is really exciting, or the story behind the story is good enough. Why would you know what I mean? Put your own spin on something. That's just dumb.
The Kennedy, that whole thing that happened is almost like too like you wouldn't even believe it in a movie. There's just so many conspiracies, so many wacky things.
It's not that far out of left field. Some people took shots at him and they pinned it on a guy. I mean,
yeah. Then the whole Jack Ruby and did
right.
Dude, that Jack Ruby thing is the most suspicious thing in the world. Like,
how do you get a
gun
there, Joe?
pissed that they killed the president. I'm going to go shoot that guy. Right. Okay, what?
How did he even have a gun there? Like, somebody let him in there with a gun. It's not that long ago that people didn't pat you down before you went in the courtroom. You can't go in the courtroom with a gun.
Well, that's the reason why we have the police that we do, that Jetai fear so much, the robotic police.
They need it. I think robots would have saved Kennedy.
They sure would have.
Yeah.
The happy birthday Polly robot would have stepped up.
Did you want to read any of those comments or no?
So yeah, let's get into it. So I had my wife who read these comments in horror. Pick the ones that she liked the most, because some of them actually speak to some traits of mine that is actually annoying. So it's kind of fun. You hear people say that I cut people off and I come off as arrogant. I get that. I can do that. I'm a little condescending sometimes, especially if the subject matter is the earth is flat. I have a hard time respecting you if you say something like that, and it irritates me, and I come off bad. But all right, so this one comes off. This one comes to us from Del West Watson. This guy looks like he probably would bum a smoke off you. Dave is an absolute legend. Shamus is literally the dumbest fuck ever. LMAO. I was getting so frustrated with his stupidity. Dave, telling it like it is as always. Turned out to be a great show. Shamus, go on Nathan Oakley's flat earth debate. He'll tear you a new one in seconds. Ball Earth is the dumb AF.
By the way, you're setting yourself up for like more bad comments.
I know. Cut all of this out. No, it's fine. Del West Watson. One of these guys is going to be armed, right? And they're going to come to my house if I read their names on the air. There's got to be a better way to do this.
Do they care?
No.
I think, listen, the fact that Dave Weiss owned your ass.
He owned me.
Is all they need. Dude, again, not for nothing,
but he
they're
really
just
stuck it to me.
They're just spitting back the words that he said.
Right. Well,
this is very cultish. You understand? It's very
it's 100% a cult. None of these people did any science. None of these people achieved results through testing. Nobody actually discovered anything. They saw YouTube. They are responding to things they saw on YouTube, and they are that willing to abandon everything they've learned in school and in life.
Well, they saw the test where the light went down.
Oh, that's right. No, never mind. No, you're right. The Earth is flat. Just when you think you'll never witness anyone more ignorant than the last, you see this guy. Bang! The way he presents himself, just wow. Dave destroyed this clown. Bucky the sock puppet. Dave is an absolute legend. This poor guy, these idiots literally come out of a mold. Huh. Cody's conspiracies. These people scare me a little. I'll be honest with you. When I read these comments, it's 90 of them, and it's one after the other. Like, society is not being well represented on our YouTube comments. If there's anyone normal that like wears clothes and has a job and does normal things, if you listen to this, could you just pop on our YouTube and leave a couple of comments just so we have some diversity of thought here? It's 100% flat Earth mania in the comment section, and some of them are aggressive. And I think to myself, what are these people capable of? And how easy would it be to find out who I was? Cut this out of the show. I don't want anybody getting ideas.
They've already thought of it.
Yeah.
No, I know. They're going to come to my house, Joe. Like, this is I just wanted to have fun. I just wanted to crack jokes and bust balls. And here I am getting doxxed, potentially.
Yeah.
I'm cutting that out of the show.
Don't put
now
that
you're
word.
You're really feeding them. Stop it.
Yeah. No, I know. They're like, wait, what could I do? I could ruin this guy's life? How do I do that? Oh, I direct scary people to his front door? Yeah, don't give him that idea. But yeah, that did Dave enjoy his time on the show? Did you talk to him, Todd?
Oh yeah. He loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loved it.
It definitely gave us a lot of exposure. He's got a huge audience. They're all extremely dangerous, but there's a lot of them. And I don't know if that's comforting or alarming.
See, this is where we differ. I would absolutely love to go to a flat Earth convention. You would stay as far away, right? I think that would be an absolute ball.
I couldn't handle it.
No pun intended.
You better not say ball in that place. If they find out you're a baller, if somebody outs you as a heliocentric modeler,
that's great.
You'll be a
funny.
spy.
They're gonna hang you by your toes. What, Jetai?
Todd would be a spy, a plant, right?
You should go undercover.
Jetai, is there any part of the flat Earth that you believe, or anything involved with what he said that you believed, or you completely out?
It's not my thing. I get it. Some people believe the flat Earth. I don't know. It doesn't make a difference to me whether it's a globe or flat.
But they're controlling us.
Jetai, you were the one that came up with that subject before we even started the show, when we sent each other lists.
Yeah, I know, because I when you flip through YouTube and you just see all these different stories, and I was like, oh, what's that all about? But I never got into it, and I didn't know that there was such a following and a flat Earth revolution, I guess. I mean, this is all so surprising to me.
Yeah, it's definitely alarming that there's this much vitriol. There's this much like passion and commitment to something as absurd as this. And it's not, the thing that gets me wound up is that it's not a couple hundred people. It's not. It's a lot of people. Like it might be a million people that think the Earth is flat. Like, that's too many fucking people in the age of information to not at least accept that.
Do you understand how passionate they feel about this particular subject? Like, this is, if you believe the Earth is flat, that's probably like a big part of your day.
That's a big part of your life. Yeah, that's a commitment.
Yeah. I mean, you're probably talking about it a lot.
Yeah, they're
like, that's not just something
that.
where like you're sitting with your buddy and he's like, oh yeah, by the way, I believe the Earth's flat. You don't normally see that. It's the guy's like, let me tell you something, buddy. That's the guy that you're talking about.
Well, Joe,
Passion.
when I first started researching flat Earth, I posted on a flat Earth page, and about 6 or 7 of them friended me on Facebook, and I just accepted them. They don't post anything else than flat Earth. They don't
Right.
post pictures of their family. Everything is memes and tests and funny like things about the flat Earth. It's all they do. There's nothing else.
I know people that are anti-abortion that are the same way. Like that
Yeah.
is their entire life.
Oh my God.
That's all they do. They're either at Planned Parenthood protesting or they're at the state legislature lobbying to get the laws changed. But that's it.
Nobody is happy about getting an abortion. The last thing you want to see is a crazed maniac on your way into doing something nobody wants to have to do and have to hear about what a shit human being you are and how you're going to hell and all of the it's just so totally narcissistic. It's so self-centered. It's like, this is what I think, and I don't care if I'm ruining your life by being here right now. It's like when Dave Weiss went to the court and told everybody that Sandy Hook didn't happen. What happened? Say it again real quick.
Well, I think he went to the town hall and requested a FOIA. FOIA.
A FOIA is I can't accept that answer.
It's like,
no.
yeah, the Freedom of Information Act or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he was invoking some what? Some rule that.
Imagine how traumatized you are living in Sandy Hook. You're a poor girl working at the town hall, and some guy comes in and he's like doubting that it happened.
Yeah, loudly spouting off that it's all a lie and you guys are all actors.
Yeah.
How crazed would you be if you lost your son or
I know.
daughter and this guy's telling you that it didn't happen?
And the thing about Dave, he lives in Greenwich, so he is really close. I mean, not really close, but pretty close to the city, Manhattan or whatever, and Sandy Hook on either side. He has to know somebody that knows somebody that lost someone in one of those tragedies.
That it's real, right? That it's real.
Yeah.
Greenwich, Connecticut. Not exactly a what am I saying? Blue collar town.
Right.
Nope.
Yeah.
Just as an FYI, the number one wealthiest per capita place in the entire country, more than Beverly Hills, more than anywhere, Greenwich, Connecticut.
Right.
So just in case anybody's wondering if our friend Dave Weiss is struggling to make ends meet with his fun little conspiracy podcast,
yeah,
rest easy. Greenwich, Connecticut.
And his little flat Earth app. This must be doing well.
with his flat Earth spiel that he does. Yeah. While you're living at a abandoned Blockbuster Video, just know that he doesn't connect with any of you. He's living way above your means, buddy. Ned's Conspiracies or whoever the fuck is calling me indoctrinated because I'm regurgitating 4th grade science while you're committing your life to a man with a salacious YouTube video.
Joe, have you ever driven through Greenwich? How insane it is!
Oh yeah,
it's like castles and gated.
It's where the Kennedys live.
Yeah,
I actually knew a guy who lived in the. Believe it or not, there's a I want to say almost an upper middle class section of that town as well. Mm-hmm. And I had a friend who lived there, who misrepresented that he lived in one of the mansions. And we took him to his house, and he literally walked up to this mansion and carried the lie right out to literally housekeeper opened the door and sent him on his way.
Yeah.
And we were like, why is she not letting you in the house? And he was like, oh, Rosita's crazy like that.
Oh my God.
Like, dude, you don't really live there, right?
Joe, can we get him on the show?
If I can get in touch with him, I would love to. I'd love to. It was one of those lies for told the lie for a year.
That's insane.
Bragging about his mansion in Greenwich. It was crazy, dude.
You know what that reminds me of? Remember when the market crashed in 2008 and Bank of America did their whole thing with the subprime mortgage bullshit and the economy completely tanked, and all of those mortgages people had to got foreclosed on and had to walk away from their homes, or all these abandoned homes. There were these people that were, I mean, just bold enough to just go into these abandoned, foreclosed on homes and live there. And they stayed there for so long that they were actually protected by the Constitution on some Homestead Act or something or another that said that once you put up residence, whether you're entitled to it, legally or not, once you have a domicile, once you have some abode that you call home for long enough, they can't kick you out. So there were guys that were like living in these, huge houses that they could never ever afford, and nobody could get them out.
I've seen those stories in like 48 hours, and it's so maddening.
Oh my God. I remember there's one story where the community like pooled money to get this guy's house bought so that they could get him evicted just to get him out of the fucking neighborhood.
Yeah.
Because the only thing keeping him there is because nobody owned the house. So they're like, oh, we'll buy it. Everybody did like a GoFundMe or like, we'll buy the house so we can kick fucking Todd out.
Yeah, see that's the kind of guy that, like, when I always tell you about my neighbor, she would be for that guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. You mentioned QAnon earlier.
Oh, yeah.
You sent me somebody that you were talking to about maybe having a QAnon show. I got to tell you up front, I'm fucking out. I'm out of that right up front. Only because if I'm getting this much passion and blowback from people who think the earth is flat, you think I want to pick a fight with those fucking people? Those scary bastards with their everything that's wrong with them and their weapons and their plans and their God knows what they're going to do to me. I'm fucking all the way out of that. Jetai, you need to come prepared. You're going to be there with Todd dealing with Gabby. I think her name is, and you're going to,
I believe.
I will not be there. Just full disclosure, not interested. That is a fight I'm just not.
There is some serious overlapping.
There is
demographic of these groups. I would suspect.
Yeah.
I know, and I don't want to poke that bear anymore. I had fun with Dave. It was a great show. Got us on the map. I think a lot of people talking about the show. I love it, but I'm fucking out.
So, do you guys want to get off of this and head to maybe talk about Alec Baldwin a little bit?
Oh, why? What did he do?
Well,
did he get himself in a little bit of trouble?
I mean, this is one of those things. I mean, Alec Baldwin said it was 1 trillion to 1. I think it literally is. I mean, all the things that have to happen.
Not if it's a Baldwin. Anytime you're around a Baldwin, your odds of getting killed by said Baldwin go up exponentially. There are certain people in Hollywood you just don't get too close. No, I'm joking. I don't hate Alec Baldwin. A lot of people do, but to pin anything on him with any sort of maliciousness or intent is absolutely absurd.
It's kind of like strange. Like he obviously didn't do it on purpose, but should you point a gun at someone, that's kind of like
the script. I guess they do that type of a shot all the time. You've seen shots where the gun is up to the camera, and you've seen it in Quentin Tarantino movies and stuff. And I don't know. I was one of those type of scenes.
To set safety, and they kind of brought on an amateur armorer.
Yeah. Not so many things. Like, why are you using a gun that is also being used to shoot real ammunition? Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, you take aside the fact that you could have a replica gun that's not even fireable. If you buy a real gun, why is it ever loaded with real bullets? Ever? Why is it ever loaded with a real bullet? Like, wouldn't you have a gun fully dedicated to making the movie and you would only ever buy blank ammo and you would test it? It's just. How do you fuck up this bad?
Yeah. And Jetai, do you know that they have, like, you really can't see it that well, but did you hear they released footage of it?
No, I did not.
Joe,
I don't handle that well. I don't want to see that.
We got it.
We can expect 209 to become the hot military product for the next decade. Dr. McNamara.
We'll need an arrest subject.
Mr. Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Would you come up and give us a hand, please?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Kenny is going to help us simulate a typical arrest and disarmament procedure. Mr. Kenny, use your gun in a threatening
Listen, Kenny, we're going to have you threaten the new robot. It's the size of a building. Yes, just do as I say.
Please put down your weapon. You have 20 seconds to comply.
First of all, the robot escalates a little quickly.
No, I think he just shoots him once.
You now have 15 seconds to comply. You are in direct violation of Penal Code 113, Section 9.
Oh, this guy's gonna get it. This is a bad day at the office. They're all pushing it to the middle. Fuck you, Bill. Oh, shit. Mercy. All over the car. Oh, right in the nuts. The robot missed nothing. There's not an inch of that man that wasn't shot by a 50 caliber round. That thing
And
destroyed.
when we do our Robots 2 episode, that's the reason why robots can't take over the world.
That's going to be in the back of your mind anytime you get AI too involved in anything. Yeah. You want to know how bad it can get? I think that's officially as bad as it gets. But that probably Terminator 2.
I do agree, though. I don't see how Alec Baldwin could ever face serious charges. I've heard people say, "Oh, he's going to go away for years." It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
What do you think, Jetai?
Well, I guess they're saying negligence since he was an executive producer and cut corners. That's what they were saying. And the armorer and several crew members were using the gun before the filming to shoot cans for fun earlier during that day. So I'm not sure if that's
Jetai
what they're going to use.
411.
I do agree, though, that being the producer adds a whole new thing to it. You know what I mean? If he was just an actor, I think it would be different.
So they were fucking around with the gun, Jetai. The producer and like his buddies were just like, "Yeah, we'll just use bullets for a minute and take them out later when they do the fake shooting."
I don't know if it was him, but it was the crew. So I don't know what consisted of the crew or who were the crew members doing it, but they were doing it. That's what some articles say, that they were just, screwing around earlier and just, shooting cans. So somebody didn't check.
Are you all in on the punishment for somebody doing something that reckless and stupid? Because I am.
There are a few people.
20 years?
Yeah. He's facing 20 years for that. I'd say that's
but what do you think?
I mean, somebody's dead. That could be your mom, and that easily could have been prevented just by not being a fucking asshole. Like, that's just asshole behavior. I'm gonna fuck around with a gun, and maybe somebody gets killed if I forget to take the bullets out. But like, this is fun, and my fun is more important than everyone's safety. Yeah, if you gave him 20 years, I wouldn't fight you. I think that's the extreme end of it. But I think he deserves anything he gets. But absolutely, he should not get nothing. He needs to fucking pay. People need to pay for that shit.
Couple things quick. My understanding is that he wasn't the real producer of the movie, that it was just a credit given as being the star of the movie for royalties or whatever. He was taking a low salary. Their hope was to shop this to festivals, try to see if they couldn't get some steam. And then, of course, he'd have his producer credit. So he wasn't the day-to-day producer of the movie. He also had the armorist and whomever was out shooting the gun. They literally just handed him the gun and told him it was loaded with blanks, and he shot it.
Of course, I mean, he's probably done it a million times.
Sure, he's also an actor, and actors are in character. And again, this was handed to him. I mean, it was a terrible accident and a tragedy. I think the person who handed him the gun that had a bullet in it probably would be the person who should be negligible for that. It's not Alec Baldwin. I know people don't like Alec Baldwin, but I mean, he's had
bullshit.
This wasn't anything that he did.
It's not on you to check the chamber. That's not, you're just the actor.
There's a reason there's an armorist there. That's their job, is to do that. Exactly. When they hand you the gun and they tell you the gun's good to go, it's good to go, and you just do your thing.
Right. Now, but do you guys think it would be completely different if the actor was Tom Hanks? Do you think it would be looked at differently?
Yeah. There wouldn't be the knee-jerk reaction to blame Tom Hanks. Nobody wants Woody going to jail.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Well, there is a fringe group that believes that he's in that big giant Democratic pedophile ring. So maybe
except
not
for them, except
example.
for the flat earth people. Yeah, no, our flat earthers will believe all of the unpopular things. Whatever the opposite of what normal people think is what they'll think.
Joe, my wife's best friend is like all into the QAnon stuff.
Oh, nice.
My daughter had a birthday party and we were painting things, and there was a red shoe painted. Do you know about that? Like the red shoe?
Yep.
No,
was
what
like,
is that? I don't know anything about the red shoe.
I think that's part of like they think Tom Hanks is in a pedophile ring and all this crazy stuff. Do you know more about the red shoe thing, Joe? Is that basically what it is?
Yeah. Yeah. So, it's funny too, because there's a lot of these things that they see. A lot of the times you'll see people on TV wearing microphones, and women, and I know this because I have 100,000 friends in this business. A lot of women, especially when they're wearing skirts, they'll actually you as a guy, you would clip it to your belt. Women wrap it around their calf muscle at the end of their skirt. And whenever that's caught on camera, people start spreading the rumor that those people are wearing what do the FBI put on you when you molest the kids and they don't want you getting around? You know what I mean?
Ankle
What's that thing
bracelet
on your ankle, Todd?
Ankle bracelet. Yeah, Oprah was accused of that at one point because she had one on. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good if you see it in one shot. You're like, oh my God, I knew it. But if you know how anything works, you would know that. Like, that's a very common thing in media.
There's a lot of layers to what QAnon believes, right? It's not just that. It's like 900 other things, and it's evolving every day. Like, I feel like QAnon is like Bitcoin. Like, it just keeps evolving. Like, there are new like different types of it. There are new spin-offs. There are different factions of QAnon. There's like traditional QAnon, and then there's like the QAnons that also think the Democrats are dinosaurs or lizards or something.
So is QAnon and Anonymous two separate entities, or are they the same?
No, I think it's completely separate.
You think so? I have no idea. I mean,
Yeah.
they believe in similar things too, right?
Yeah, I always think Anonymous is more like a hacker type thing, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
I think the idea was that it started with somebody that was supposedly Robert Kennedy or John F. Kennedy Jr. is Q, and he's really alive, but he's anonymous and he's in the government. Isn't that how it started? Like, there's somebody inside that's telling us the truth.
Yeah,
that was how it started.
And what about McAfee, the security guy?
Oh, that guy's what a story that is. Have you heard about that guy, John McAfee? Wild story, that guy, man.
Yeah.
Murdered somebody or murdered a bunch of people, lived on an island. They were trying to extradite him. They couldn't. He had guards with machine guns surrounding his compound. And didn't he go out in a hail of bullets or something? Or what's the story with him, Jetai?
I don't know. I just thought that he was part of the QAnon thing that they were saying.
He was definitely fucking crazy. That much we know.
Yeah, I think
go look up John McAfee and look at anything about that guy.
Yeah, some people don't think he's dead and stuff like that.
Wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
and Joe,
Joe, the thing you found dead by suicide, June of 2021.
Joe, now the thing you said about the ankle bracelet, how they think it's an ankle bracelet, it's not like one person thinks that. You have a whole group of people who it's crazy.
It's not that harmless when you think about the numbers. And like, what else will they think and what might they do about what they think? When you start talking about numbers, I mean, millions of people are in this QAnon. How many people are in the QAnon Twitter? Anybody know? Or the like QAnon affiliations online? Does anybody have an estimate of how many members they have?
There's a lot. I think you're definitely talking. I mean, you've got literally, 2 QAnon
in
politicians in Congress now. Yeah, I mean, there's enough
Congress
of them.
Yeah,
is a heavy presence. Clearly, they're making their way into every facet of our society. And if you're not at least somewhat afraid of them, I don't think you're paying attention. I don't know. Like, Todd, you have at it, buddy. You enjoy that show. Your old buddy Shamus will be listening from afar.
Hey, do you remember that old Sword and Scale episode where it's kind of like QAnon before there was a QAnon where they said there was this underground thing? Yeah, it was. That was kind of crazy to listen to.
Which one was it though? Which delusional psychopath killed somebody?
No, yeah, it was basically like there's this underground thing with all sorts of like senators and politicians, and
that was the very
kid-
first one I ever.
Oh.
That was the first one that anyone ever turned me on to Sword and Scale. Was that one?
It-
was a
it's
it is
like
a
episode
conspiracy
5.
theory.
It's like episode 5.
Yeah,
It's right at the very,
it's
very
about
beginning.
a pedophile ring in government. I thought connected to the Bush administration or someone affiliated with that circle, and that's a big, huge, web of craziness. And
But it's not too far-fetched. I mean, look at Epstein and all his connections.
that's probably
so
what it
there's-
was too. That's probably
Yeah.
it. Probably was
Yeah.
that story like manifested into something else to fit whatever crazier story they thought of.
Yeah, and it was probably before Epstein was like a household name.
Epstein.
Like it is
Say
now.
his name right. Come on, buddy. We're on a
Epstein.
conspiracy show. We got to at least have Jeffrey. We're going to put a Jeffrey Epstein
Oh, yeah.
backdrop for everybody, just for
Mhm.
clicks.
That's a show too. Do you guys think he was killed, right?
Oh yeah, that's a great show, Todd.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
I would hang an Epstein banner up.
Yeah.
Would you do that? You might get put on a list if somebody sees you with an Epstein. It might not be a good affiliation for Joe Aguirre. You start Googling your name. Bad things.
Yeah, and it ruined Bill and Melinda's marriage, right? One of the things.
Oh yeah. Oh, we know that's a show too. Jedi and I, we hate Bill Gates. He's just so odd and up to no good. I mean, just
Why do you
Jedi.
suppose he's up to no good? Windows is angry. I mean, is angering you.
No, but
have a big.
He's just a wacky guy. Jedi, what's that thing where he was like allowed like a date every year with his ex? He went away with his ex.
Yes, and what they studied was I think science and
How do you know?
biology, because it was in the these
Oh, yeah.
articles about his divorce. Things finally came out.
Yeah.
And his meeting with, or his dinner with Epstein.
Yeah.
You're
his
saying you're
wife
doing it
thinking-
too, Jedi. Epstein.
What?
It's
Epstein.
Epstein.
I'm sorry.
You
I'm
can't
sorry.
go a whole show saying Epstein.
Epstein.
So he was an Epstein affiliate. He was friends with him. He went to his
says
island.
he wasn't.
Yeah.
He ends up saying that it was just a meeting because I guess Epstein said how many connections he had regarding his to help Bill's foundation or his cause and his purpose or whatever they were working on, and that's
he
why
threw
they met.
He threw money around to a lot of people, though. You can't implicate every single person he threw money to. He was a billionaire, so he wanted power and influence. He was an egomaniac, so he wanted everyone to love him, and he wanted things erected in his honor. He wanted to donate to all of these really good causes. Actually, he donated to cancer research. He donated to a bunch of things. He did a lot of really good things with his money. He wanted to be perceived as a good guy. It's just
he can donate $5 million to every organization. It wouldn't even like affect him.
No, he had. I mean, he didn't have Bezos money, I don't think, but he had. I think over $1 billion, didn't he?
Oh no!
How much money did he have?
No,
Joe?
Bill Gates. No, well, Bill Gates growing up, he always had like 60 billion. I think he definitely has over 100 billion.
Oh, but now we're talking about. I was talking about Jeffrey Epstein, but Bill Gates.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no,
yeah,
Bill Gates is definitely a billionaire.
Yeah, Epstein
No
is
question about it. But the only thing that I think would, for me, make him guilty is if he were on that flight log. If he if he went to his pedophile island, then I would say yes, which I know that Clinton did, right?
Yeah, 28 times or something crazy. I mean, there's no getting out of
island. Yeah. We're gonna
go back to that
funny island again.
I've actually seen the picture of Bill getting off the plane at the island. Did they hear him deny it? You're like, dude, you're such a liar.
Yeah.
There's a picture of you there. What?
I did not have relations with all of those children on that island.
And by the way, just to be clear, Bill Gates has never been to that island, according to this New York Times report. Interestingly, this is interesting. He claims he met with Bill Gates numerous times. The interesting part was it was after 2011 when he was first convicted of sex crimes. So that's when Bill Gates decided to start a business relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. So that's a little bit weird.
Oh, so that was known about him when he went into business.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's sus, as the
right, exactly.
That's
is
almost that's almost as bad as a lie. Do you remember on Stern when they said that Dennis Rodman had 2 girls in his bed and Carmen Electra walked in and he said they fell through the ceiling?
That was a lie? I like the story where Dennis broke his penis. Did you ever hear that one?
Yeah.
Dennis was having such rough sex with his baseball bat penis that it fucking split in half.
Yeah.
And he had this massive hemorrhage on his dick and had to go into the ER and talked about all the all the nurses having to drain the fluid and the recovery time was massive and he had a big huge elephant bulge in his pants.
Oh
Yeah,
my
that
God.
happened to you?
Just real quick,
Joe?
we were talking about Norm earlier. I got an update on my phone that the Celtics won again tonight. Did you see the
Amazing.
score of the games the last 2 nights?
So the Celtics came alive in the second half against Orlando, the Celtics for years have gotten right against Orlando.
Yeah.
So I was on Celtics yesterday. I was sweating that out though. They looked like they were going to go down early, but they came out firing against a fully loaded Heat squad that I'm backing, by the way. I love this Heat team, and they fucking beat the living shit out. What was the final?
No, but the final of the last 2 nights, one was like 92-79, and today was like 80-something to 75. It's just like wicked low scoring. And it just
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
But it reminded me of an Artie and Norm story. They were degenerate gamblers and they discovered this thing called a lightning bet. Have you ever heard about that?
Oh my God, yeah. I don't.
So
that's not a thing, by the way.
Yeah,
that
no,
was
it's
like,
not. No,
that's
it's like
something
something
you could do with a bookie that will kill you if you don't actually pay them the money because you don't put that money up. You just agree to pay it.
Right.
You're like every time they score.
Yeah. So Joe, basically, if the over under of a basketball game is say 200, if you do $100 lightning bet in the over, every point over 200, you get $100. Every point under. So Artie and Norm were like, okay, this Jazz Bulls like game 2, whatever, the championship, let's bet the over. So Norm bet $1,000 a point. Artie bet 200. It was the lowest scoring game. It was 95-54. The Jazz scored 50 points. And Artie said the worst thing about losing was walking around the next day. Everywhere they looked, it was like the lowest scoring game in history. They had to keep like reliving it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, that's a wake up call. When that happens, it's like, all right, we've warned you. This is going to be your life now. Accept it or move on. Now, can you do a lightning bet on the under?
Yeah, you can do anything, but like we said, that's not it's not a real thing. Like we said.
Yeah, I mean, they're not gonna, if you sign up for a Bet US account, you're not going to see lightning bet in the upper right hand corner. There's no guy named Vinny that's going to show up and be like, all right, buddy, you lightning bet the Flyers. That's it.
Yep. Anything else you guys want to talk about? Or you want to get wrapped up?
I just want to apologize to all the flat Earth people. I didn't mean to ruffle your feathers, and let's just live our lives separate. And I'll go my way, you go yours.
I think you should agree to do your own research and get your head out of your ass. I think if you would commit to doing that for the flat earthers, I think we could all move on together.
You're right. No, I'm gonna set up the heliocentric model in my in my kitchen, like Dave did, with aluminum foil and a tennis ball, and just make sure the Earth is round before I speak up again.
It'd be kind of fun if we did a test. If there was like an easy at-home test you could do.
Yeah, we could do an at-home flight to St. Petersburg from South Africa.
So yeah, check us out on social media and Clovercrest Media, and we have YouTube now, which I'm sure people know by now. To Conspiracies and Beyond.
Well, I'll tell you something, man. You click on that To Conspiracies and Beyond. It doesn't fill in. You got to spell the whole thing. We got to work on that. If anybody out there has technical skills and wants to help promote our show, we're all of us are apparently internet stupid because we can't seem to get this thing to pop up on an easy search, and it's got a little tiny graphic on it. Feel very inferior to the other YouTubers.
Yeah. So, Jetai, do you have anything for the wrap up here, or not really planned?
No, I don't. I didn't know what we were going to talk about.
Jetai, bring in the fire.
Yeah. We kind of just threw this show together. We're all kind of busy this week.
Yeah. Sorry about this show, everybody.
And
We'll
Joe,
do better.
do we have anything with the McCamey Manor one? Do we still have that one to release? Or no?
Yeah, I think so. I'll have to look at. Yeah, you asked me about that a couple weeks ago. Did we just kick that one to do the other ones?
Well, I
it
think
should
we just,
be. It should be
yeah.
done and ready to go. I have to double check, but yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Shamus, do you want to close it out?
Well, folks, it's always a pleasure giving my colorful opinion on topics that I know are important to all of us. And for whatever shape we agree the Earth is, I hope you are well. I hope your family is well. And I hope you join us again on the next To Conspiracies and Beyond.
I was gonna say,